Hey guys, it's Sustainable Stace with this episode on perennial food forests. Have you ever wanted to put together a whole pile of perennials and do something beautiful? Well, I've been working on it and I want to share with you how. Stay tuned.
I'm Stace. For me, healthy food and sustainability are totally connected. You can grow it yourself. Nature is generous.
Hey guys, welcome to what I think is going to be a really amazing episode. I'm down here in the bottom of our property. Most of it's neighbors, veggie garden over there, field in the back, but we've got this sweet little tidy piece of acreage here. And back a few years ago, we wanted some soil to create a flat playing field for our younger kids to play sports. So we decided to excavate a pond. So here I am beside this little pond, and I've just fallen in love with this idea of planting perennials that produce food. I've got this idea that this space that's around the pond, from over on this side, right about here, all the way around to the other side in kind of a crescent shape, is going to become a little perennial food forest. And so I'm wanting you to see it with me before I get rocking on it, because it's spring. The sheep are just starting to lamb. I'm still walking the area where I see this little perennial food forest going. I'm thinking it's going to come to probably right about here. We're going to try to get some layers of elevations, taller plants, which are going to start right fence here, and then they're going to get a little shorter and a little smaller as we get closer. Things that could be like herbs or rhubarb or lovage or even ground creeping funky food items down there that are perennial, stuff that produces every year. So I just want to kind of, for getting rolling's sake, show it to you all before we get started. The grass is going to have to get cut. We're going to have to get in lots of mulch, dig some holes, get in some compost, get in some soil, plant some fruit trees, and from there, I guess, we'll start to plant, to build, and to design this all out. And I think that the next time you see a little video in the food forest area by the pond, it could be downright exciting. Stay tuned. Check it out, guys. Sustainable Stace on the food forest project. Did a little bit more work today. You can see some stacks of coffee sacks that I've got here. I just want you to check this out. I've just unloaded them here, so I've got a whole bunch of them from Colombia, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and really beautiful organic fibers. So if you take a look at these, organic fibers that organic coffee is shipped in. Beautiful to put down on the ground. I've just mown the grass all around in that crescent-shaped area where I'm wanting to do the food forest. And when we put the coffee sacks down and then cover it with chips and things like coffee chaff, sawdust, leaf mulch, all those things are going to suppress the moisture, kill off the grass, and start building the soil to be better all around all the different food forest plants. Had a great group of helpers come along. Just want to show you some of those photos, how we got busy in the back behind the pond there. We dipped coffee sacks into water in the pond, put them down on top of the grasses where we wanted to put in the food forest, covered those wet coffee sacks with bark chips, and then because the soil is really poor, we would dig out the soil that's heavy and clayish, put in better soil and compost, and start planting the herbs and the different perennial plants that we've put in there. I'm just going to take you back around, show you a few of the plants that we got going there. So just a reminder, guys, of where things are at. South is that direction where I'm pointing. So I want my tallest plants over here so that the shorter plants are closer to the sun and the taller plants are further back from the sun. Everything that's in this little, what I'm calling a food forest, is perennial. So it's going to be planted once and hopefully grow for years and years and years. It's not like veggies that you plant and harvest each year and plant again. So we're trying to get food for us as a family and also food for the bees, because I want it to be really pollen rich for pollinators. We've got things like fig trees going in, lupin, comfrey, rhubarb, quince. All of these are going to deep root and bring up more nutrients from below. There's a variety of perennial herbs. One that I really love for the pollinators called autumn joy that's going to come up. An apricot tree, more comfrey, things like herbs and sage and artichoke as well. So this is all cardboard, damp coffee sacks, and then covered with bark chips. And gradually over time, this will all expand, all the plants in size, grow in more and more. So it's kind of a work in progress. That's where we're at this point.
Hey guys, it's been about a year since I started this. Oh, hi, Soda Pop. It's been about a year since I started out this permaculture kind of food forest project in the background behind my pond. So I'm crowding my camera lens right now a little bit just to not give it away entirely. But I've tried to frame the camera lens in roughly the same spot as last time so that you can see what we've got a year later. It's been about a year, maybe a month since then. So I'm just gonna stand up and let you see how different it is beyond the pond here. And we're gonna train the camera as we did before in the next scene to just show you where we had the camera set up last time and how different it looks. So we're just gonna relocate and do a little celebration here. So as part of this celebration, if you look back just a few seconds in your reel at last year's footage, this maple tree branch was right here in your left hand, and this sage bush was right here in your left hand. So that was your left hand frame. And if you backtrack a year, I'm basically a year ago walking right up this way, pointing out all the different plants. And I just want you to see what's happened in 1 year, guys. Do you remember in last year's footage, the cat and the dog are just playing right here? And look at what's happened. The comfrey now is taller than my waist. The trees are taking off. And it's starting to look a little bit more foresty every day. Can you imagine in 1 more year how much more incredible this is going to be? So take heart. If you're doing some plantings, get creative, be curative, put together your best aesthetics, and jump into planting perennial beds, because it's always going to reward you if you get some herbs and some fruit and some flowers and some berries and mix it all together and mulch it. It'll be beautiful. Go for it. Guys, how cool has that been to be able to see what happened a year ago to what happened now in my own little attempt at putting together a perennial food forest that's maybe 30 meters, 100 feet long, and just maybe 10, 12 feet wide, 3-4 meters wide. It wraps around a gorgeous pond. It's a beautiful thing, and you can do it too. And if you guys have been watching this awesome little piece on doing your own perennial food forest on YouTube, thanks a lot for following along. Click down here in your bottom right and look for more things that are hopeful, helpful, and healthy for you and others to enjoy. Take care.